Hey everyone! I am about to start recording next week's podcast episode, but I thought I would begin today just by showing you a little bit of my healing room. There's a lot of light there, but okay, I'll show you quickly. So this is where I see clients, and a little bit of the setup here. My shop. Can you see that unicorn? Yep. His name is Silverio. He's awesome. I'm gonna show you a bit of the crystals, all the beauties that I have here that always help me, support me, and all my clients during the healing sessions. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of where I am, where I spend my time most of the week. But while I talk to you, I'm going to be setting up to record my podcast today. So, there's a mirror there. Welcome everyone. This is Laura Gutierrez, founder of the Love Approach Project, and we are here today, Monday, at another episode of the Love Approach Project podcast. Today is just me, and I've realized that I actually want to start doing a little bit more of this, a little bit more of me just talking to you and creating a relationship with all of you. There are many different topics that I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to take advantage of this medium to be able to do so that we can have like a conversation, let's say, across the waves, across the internet waves. I don't know if I said that right. But anyway, I of course enjoy having guests and interviewing different people who bring their own magic and their own sauce and their own healing gifts that helps us so much, that are creating a massive ripple effect in the world, for all of you, for the whole of us, for the planet, and beyond, really. So this week I was thinking about the impact that we all have in this world. And when I was just kind of like tuning into the topic for today's episode, the word kindness came into my mind straight away. And I realized, actually we haven't talked about kindness. And it would be an awesome way of beginning a week, actually. Reminding ourselves what kindness is and how it actually can change our lives, change how we perceive the world around us and how we perceive our own reality. So throughout this podcast, we've talked about stress in many different ways and many different solutions for it, many ways of preventing it, resolving it, healing from it. But when it comes to some of the basic things, we haven't really gone into some of the very basic things. The things that are innate to us, the things that we can all resource from within. And this is when kindness comes into the picture, really. So we know, right now, we all know, and if you have been following this podcast, you will by now know about all the detrimental effects that stress causes in our bodies, in our mind, in our emotions, in our spirits as well, in our physical body. And fortunately or unfortunately, we still find it a bit hard to deal with it, to manage it, to learn from it. When we are stressed out, we suffer from an incredible energy depletion. It depletes us in all levels. It depletes our vital energy, our prana, our chi. And the thing is that when that happens, or when we allow stress to get to that point, to get so chronic that we cannot get out of bed, or that we can only see the negative side of things, then we've come to a point in which we need to make a decision. We need to make the decision of stepping out of that realm, the realm of chronic stress, and stepping into the realm of possibilities, the realm of positivity, the realm of vitality, of re-energizing ourselves, and of understanding that we can actually, that we have the power to go beyond and go above chronic stress. If you got to listen to the episode that I published 2 weeks ago, in which I was also talking on my own, in there we talked a little bit about like a different approach, an approach more from reclaiming our harmony. And this is where I want us to get to, really, or this is my intention, to be able to help you and guide you towards reclaiming your harmony, towards not allowing stress to control your life and disrupt your innate ability to be harmonious. So we know, I think this, I mentioned this statistic last time too, like over 284 million people suffer from a case of anxiety or an anxiety related disorder in 2017. This is according to an organization called Our World in Data. And it's just, I don't know if I should call it fascinating or a bit sad, actually, that we are getting to that point, as a society. But I do believe, and I strongly believe, that we can return to our harmony with the help of each other. And so kindness comes here into this talk, really. There is a quote that I read from Maya Angelou. She was a poet and a writer, an American poet and writer. And she wrote a quote that I actually have here, and I wanted to read it to you. And it says, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel." And I remember reading this quote a while ago and just thinking, wow, that is so true. When you make someone feel good, that person will always remember you, will always remember you. And likewise, when someone and the other way, around, when someone has done something for you and you felt in a particular way, you will always remember that. A couple of months ago, my husband came back one afternoon on a weekend, and he said, "Oh, I was stuck in traffic and I was wondering what was going on. And then I saw that there was a young woman in a car, like a few cars ahead of him, and her car had broken down. And so what he did was he drove so that he could be just kind of like side to side with her, and lowered the window and just asked her, 'Are you okay? What's going on?' And nobody had done this. Everybody had just kind of like gone around her. And then she said that, I don't know, the car is just not working. And so he said, okay, just wait there. And so my husband kind of like went around, parked, and then came back running to help the woman kind of like start the car again. And as he did that, he also realized that the guy who was in the car behind him did the same. And so most probably it was like a ripple effect that was created there. And then he was telling me that himself and the guy from the car behind helped her move the car, push the car, and start the car so that she could move it somewhere else and get some assistance. And then they both said, yeah, nice to meet you, okay, bye. Sorry. And then they both went to pick up their cars, and then my husband realized that they were parked beside each other. But anyway, when he came back to tell me that story, when he came home and he told me that story, the most beautiful part of the story was his energy. His energy was completely different. He had changed. He had his eyes were lit up. His face was pure joy. And all because he had taken the courage of practicing kindness. Now, kindness requires our courage, because we are living in a world that constantly tells us do not trust. Being kind is to be a fool. Being kind, if you're kind, people are going to take advantage of you, all that kind of stuff. But we also know that there are many, many, many people practicing acts of kindness every single day, including you, including me. And we sometimes we don't even realize that we are doing it. But if we bring awareness, this is when things change. What if we can start practicing kindness with awareness? I want to read to you something, a little paragraph from this book called The Art of Kindness, that a friend of mine gave me for my birthday this year. The author of this book is Meredith Gaston. And so at the beginning of the book, she has like a little intro. And I just want to read to you something that resonated with me immensely. It says, "In this busy, bustling and impatient world we call home, a world that too often seems brash, disconnected and overwhelming, kindness remains a breath of fresh air, a life-affirming anchor, an uncomplicated healing source of comfort and joy." And I thought, I think that's the best definition of kindness that I've read. It's so spot on. Kindness is necessary for us to be able to live in this world, to be able to understand each other, to be able to enjoy life. Now, if we go to the scientific benefits of practicing kindness, kindness actually reduces stress. Because kindness, when you practice kindness, when you do a random act of kindness for someone or for you, because this applies obviously first for us before we can take it out into the world. Actually, well, we can do it the other way around too, and we can become kinder and kinder towards ourselves too, of course. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But when we practice kindness, yes, this is where I was going. So when we practice kindness, our body actually, there are lots of chemical reactions happening in our body. And some of them are the release of oxytocin, which is like, it makes us feel good, right? It really helps us, it gives us that feeling of open-heartedness. You release serotonin as well, which again makes you feel happy, good. And endorphins that actually help you reduce pain. So when you practice acts of kindness, interestingly enough, you are straight away receiving benefit for your own physical health, emotional health, mental health. Isn't that incredible? I mean, not incredible, but isn't that wow? Because kindness goes and comes back. You express it, you bring it to others, you use it, and it returns to you straight away. So I invite you to pay attention to that. Now, some studies have also shown that when you practice kindness, when you do, when you perform an act of kindness, and someone else is watching, the person who is watching also receives the benefits of kindness as if they had done the act of kindness. Isn't that super interesting? And of course, the person who is receiving, who is in the receiving mode, let's say, it's also not only receiving the act of kindness as something super beneficial, of course, but they are also releasing all these chemicals within them. So kindness creates a massive ripple effect in our world, in our lives. It's actually one of the things that can help immensely people who are suffering from depression, people who perhaps sometimes feel that they do not have a purpose here in this world. Practicing kindness, and this can be done through some kind of volunteering service, or just simply being very conscious of doing something for someone else without expecting anything back. It can help them burst, let's say, the bubble of being in their own tiny world, in which everything can seem very dark. I personally started volunteering with an organization here in Sydney over 2 years ago now. Well, time has flown. And I realized after maybe the first time I went that I was receiving much more than I could give. That every time I smiled at one of the homeless people who was receiving food or coffee or something from me, my heart was just like in open mode. And I could feel the high of doing so, the chemical high that I was receiving in my own body as I was there being of service for others. And then one day, maybe like a few months actually after being a volunteer at this place, one of the homeless guys who was going there, he said to me that my smile made his day, because nobody else would smile at him on the street, you know. He said that it was the thing basically that changed how he felt that day, and that he was looking forward to receiving that smile. It changed how he felt, it changed how he felt about himself as well. And it changed his perception about the world too, you know. So kindness is key for us to be able to experience our reality and to experience our world in a more meaningful way. Practicing kindness is free. First and foremost, it does good to you, it does good to others, and it creates a ripple effect. I'm sure you know this, and I'm sure you felt all of this too. I'm sure you've experienced what performing or doing an act of kindness brings you and brings others. So I invite you to practice a little bit more of this. Another thing that sometimes we don't realize, and as I was saying before, we sometimes don't realize that we have been practicing acts of kindness throughout the day. So an antidote for stress actually can be to count not only your blessings, but your acts of kindness towards others. That immediately boosts your self-esteem, your self-confidence. It helps you release some of those awesome chemicals that can help you heal. And you are in a state of appreciation. And we all know now that when we are in a state of appreciation, you simply cannot experience the stress. This is one of the things, and I've shared this in a few different videos and in the episode 11 of this podcast too, that the Heart Math Institute has been sharing with all of us a beautiful exercise which is called the coherence exercise, the heart coherence, in which basically you are bringing to your mind the memories or the thoughts of appreciation and gratitude, and that creates straight away a coherent, calm connection between your brain and your heart, and vice versa. So counting your acts of kindness can help you feel very different and motivate you to keep doing it. When you practice kindness, you also feel very connected, and you give others the opportunity of experiencing community as well. We didn't come here to be alone. We didn't come here to be experiencing or going through all our stuff and all our challenges on our own. We came here to support each other, and kindness is a way of doing that. Whether it's a smile, whether it's paying for someone's coffee without letting them know, or whether it's like letting someone pass in front of you in traffic or cut in front of you in traffic. Whatever it is, whatever kindness means to you, start practicing more and you will start reaping the benefits. So a sense of community, promotion of fostering gratitude, fostering joy, and fostering more kindness. Isn't that awesome? Seriously? We can all do it. It's in all of us. Sometimes we're a little bit rusty, so what we just need to do is to practice it, to get cracking, as my husband would say. So if you have time after listening to this episode, I really invite you to take pen and paper and take note of all the acts of kindness that you've done for someone or for other people or for organizations or for the planet, whatever it is. Take note of all of that and congratulate yourself for doing so, and motivate yourself, inspire yourself to keep doing it. Remember, you are creating a ripple effect, never-ending effect. I invite you to think of that. And with this, I just want to close today. I want to thank you for listening to this episode, for being here so present, and for saying yes to creating a ripple effect that can change the world. And of course, let me just remind you that as you do this, you heal, you return to you reclaim your harmony. Okay, until next week, I send you a very big hug and a kiss, and I shall talk to you next week. Bye bye.